6 out of 6 for Pep Guardiola in the 8 years, and he's one of the 6 players who's won all 6. Kevin De Bruyne, you've coached him, you've been up close and personal with him. It's interesting to hear him saying it feels a little bit different because he hasn't played as big a part in it.
That's exactly what I was about to say. So that's a great assist. It's just for a guy like him, he could have talked about the title. He wanted to let everyone know that he wasn't involved a lot this year, that he came back and tried to help. We're talking about Kevin De Bruyne. Then he says that Phil Foden won the title. The humility of the guy. We all know he'll go down as, if not the best midfielder ever, arguably. However, people might give one or another 2. But look at the humility, look at how they think. They're thinking about the team. Phil Foden was the guy that won us the league this year. It's a bit different for me this year. Let me step back. I came back to help. That's all I did, with all humility. We're talking about Kevin De Bruyne. That is just crazy. And to go back to coaching him, I mean, his brain is second to none. Like I said, I played with the likes of Xavi, who was more than clever. But the way Kevin De Bruyne sees the game, at times it can be a problem for him because he sees too much. And he can step out of his game because he could see a goal from the hand of the goalkeeper. He can see the path of it. So when it doesn't happen, he gets upset. Perfectionist also. So when 2 perfectionists meet, him and Pep Guardiola, this is what happened.
Fantastic.
He's been crowned champions. It's Jack Grealish. Congratulations, Jack. What are the emotions right now?
No, just as you can imagine, it's an unbelievable feeling, for us, to be history makers. Obviously, I've only been here for 3 years, and every year, I've won the Premier League, so it's been unbelievable for me. And, for the guys that have been here for 4 years especially, it's unbelievable, to do it in the Premier League, which, some say it's the hardest league in the world, to win 4 in a row is unbelievable, so...
What did you make of the race this year? Liverpool and Arsenal were pushing you all the way.
Yeah, no, all the way, yeah. And I said it, a few years. No, in fact, I said it last year. I've just never been in a team anywhere where we have what we have here. Never.
What is that?
Just everything. We have the young guys, we have the older guys, we have talent, and then we just have this togetherness that, I don't know, just means so much, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's unbelievable, and surely, now you can see that winning 4 in a row.
We've spoken to you after every one, and your emotions have been quite different. In the first year, you were challenging yourself to come back stronger. Last year, you played most of the games. Has it been difficult at times for you in this, your 3rd year?
Yeah, definitely. I don't feel like I've performed well this season at all, I think I feel like I performed better this year than I did in my first year, but my first year I just wanted to win, do you know what I mean, no matter what. Then obviously, like you said last year, I played a little bit more, and now, yeah, this season it's been stop-start. I still feel like I played well in points, but
you've been hard on yourself though. Come on, you've just won the Premier League. Give yourself a little bit of credit. I know your levels are high. My days at Villa, where you always wanted to push the barriers to as high as you possibly could. But you deserve to win the Premier League, and you've been a massive part of what they've done this season.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, Mix. But I don't know. I just, like you said, my standards, I set myself standards that are high, So, yeah, I feel like I could have played more. In some games, obviously. I wanted to play as much as I could, like I did last season. But, we have so many good players here, so it is difficult at times. I don't think there's any team in the world that rotates, the way City do. But I think, that's the beauty of it.
There was a moment where you were just talking to Pep there, and then what did he say to you there? Did you exchange a few words?
No, I just said to him, congratulations, and he says, no, you congratulations, and I says, no. I said, I've only won 3. I says, you've won 4, so congratulations to you. And then, he was all right. He's an unbelievable guy, and I've had times in this season that I've struggled off the pitch. I'll openly say that. And he's been there for me, do you know what I mean? He's been there for me so much, and I can only thank him. He's a brilliant manager on the pitch, but off the pitch, behind closed doors, when I've been in his office, he's helped me.
Yeah. No, I get that.
But no, listen, even now I'm so proud of some of the guys and happy for them. Like people like Kovacic, I swear, man, he's the best guy. He's an unbelievable player, but what a guy. And he's never won the Premier League. And, you know, the last few weeks he's played every single minute of every game, and then today he don't play, you know. And he just took it like a champion, and then he's just so happy for the team. So, no, I'm buzzing.
Jack, thank you so much. Go and enjoy the celebrations. Kyle Walker is going to come.
What a captain.
Kyle, I mean, what can you say? Here we are again. But does it feel different to be the man at the front, holding the trophy aloft?
No, as you say, listen, I'm the man at the front and I wear the armband, but listen, I don't put myself above anyone else. We're all a team. We're a team, and you know, there's four other captains, including myself, and we all pull our weight. We all pull our weight. I'm just, you know, the man that they've picked to wear the armband, which I'm very grateful of. But to obviously lift this in this environment at this stage in 4 in a row. You've got to set an example, and I've tried, you know, and I said to the lads today, it's not just about the 11 that starts. People coming on, making an
very rarely does he make those mistakes now. He could play even as a centre-back in the Euros for England. There's no reason why he couldn't do that. He can just play anywhere in that back four. He's such a phenomenal player, and he leads by example as day in, day out. What a signing he has been for Manchester City.
And clearly hugely popular for the rest of the players to vote him captain, Micah.
Yeah, I mean, you just see the way he speaks in his interviews. Really insightful, really intelligent. I think what's great about him, what Jamie, just to allude to what Jamie was saying, is you have to have that the players buy into it, and it shows in the performances. It's absolutely brilliant.
It's his biggest gift. It's a gift to make players nowadays. It's become harder and harder, and that's where you need good people in your dressing room to run it. Graham Souness always talks about having good senior players, and he's absolutely spot on.
Well, Kyle Walker said, didn't he, fight steady on there, young man. Steady on. SOS. Kyle Walker spoke about the fact that they have 5 captains. In effect, there are 5 people doing that job at City. It's not just Kyle Walker. Did you ever doubt them this year, Jamie? I talked about the fact there was a little bit of a wobble before the Club World Cup.
No, I'm not going to. I'd like to see him say, no, I didn't think that, not for 1 second. No, I did. And especially when Kevin De Bruyne got injured, I felt that might be the moment where they're going to really find it difficult. That Phil Foden coming into a central midfield position really did help. But I just love this Manchester City side when Kevin De Bruyne plays. I just feel he gives them something completely different. You know, he is just a unique footballer. When he has the ball, time stands still. So, yes, I can't lie. I did doubt them. I didn't think that they were perhaps at the level early in the season. How wrong was I? Because they've got such a fighting spirit as well. Because they're all lovely footballers, but they've also got that bit of devil in them. And that's what you need if you want to win trophies.
It's easy to forget that before that Club World Cup, they went into that with 1 win in 6. They were dropping points at home against Palace. They lost at Aston Villa. And I think at that stage, everyone was just starting to wonder about this Arsenal team, this Liverpool team, Micah.
Yeah, and the questions, you know, it's fair to ask some questions. I think what we all said, that Man City will go on a run at some stage. It's normally towards the end of the season. Let's not forget Haaland was injured for big parts of the season, Kevin De Bruyne as well. But they just managed to find a way. In football, you've got to find a way, and they managed to do it at the right times. I think they've been excellent. Arsenal have been great too, but just in the pivotal moments, when City was struggling, I always looked at that Spurs game away. That's the only game I was fearing for City in the latter part of the season. If we get through that, then it was going and win the league.
And what a run. Unbeaten in 23 games, Jamie, finishing with 9 straight victories. It's what City do.
Yeah, it is. And you have to, you're almost in awe of them for that reason. Because this is the hardest part of the season. This is the time when you have to show, you know, you have to show that bottle, you have to show that you're not scared.
But you think they almost relish that tension?
Obviously.
Because they've handled it before.
Obviously. And it does go, you know, because of the history, it does certainly help them when they're going down the stretch. But normally that's the hardest part. That's what, like, not everybody loves that pressure. But they seem to embrace it. They want it. And that's why they've been so phenomenal. It must come from the manager, the senior players. How long can they keep doing it for? Because Arsenal have pushed them relentlessly this year. They've asked every single question on this side, but they've seemed to answer it time and time again.
But what a confidence, what a platform he gives them to perform. Because here we go today, 79 seconds in, and we see one of the goals of the season from the superstar Phil Foden.
Honestly, Phil Foden, he just gets better every time I watch him. We've been talking all season about how can we get him into the England squad in that number 10 role. He needs to play number 10 for England. It's as simple as that. When he's in there, he's a different player. I've loved his improvement. I love the fact when Kevin De Bruyne was out, he stood up and he was counted for. Big goals, big assists, and he's just been amazing this season. He really has.
Here's the man himself, Pep Guardiola, the man who has delivered just extraordinary, unprecedented success to Manchester City. The first manager to win 4 successive league titles. Gary Neville's delaying him right now.
Gary, we're trying to get
Gary, grab a microphone and join in. Pep, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. Wow.
Put it into words for us if you can.
Yeah, it was nice. Of course, the first was for Arsenal, Liverpool as well, but especially Arsenal to bring us, to push us another level. Before it was Liverpool, they pushed us in our limits. Now it's been these last 2 seasons especially this one, have been an incredible season. We get the message, so I know they will be there for many years because a young manager, big talent, and a young squad, a young team, and they send us a message that you have to be careful for the next years. But today is the day to celebrate it because. So if I land here and the people tell me next 7 years you're going to win 6 Premier Leagues, I would say you are insane. So no, it's not going to happen. It happened. So, and it is, belong to Liverpool with all the managers, Graham Souness, Ian Rush, all these players, 90 Alex Ferguson, Rio Ferdinand, Gary Neville, Ryan Giggs, David Beckham, Scholes, Roy Keane, of course, Mourinho with Chelsea, and Invincibles with Serraras. Now is our period. We are part of that.
It did happen, Pep. 6 in 7 seasons. I don't know if you heard Jurgen Klopp this week. He said no other manager in the world with that Manchester City team could win 4 league titles in a row. No other manager in the world. So what is your secret? What is your potion
I would like to,
that you managed to conjure with these players?
I would like to hear it. I don't know. It's a lot of work behind. And I said in the previous season, so I'm not saying I'm a bad manager, but I have incredible support for the club. The club is not the manager, it's talent players. This is how we contaminate this work ethic, this everyone do the job, and every department is so important. So this is the truth, this is the reality.
How many times, or did you have to lean on history this season to remind the players that no team has done it 4 times before?
Not in the beginning, but February, I said, okay guys, so no one has done it, why not? But always we for experience in these years, when we think about the titles, when you arrive 2 months left. So in November, December is not a good wait because it's so far away.
Now you've done it, does this one feel the most special then?
Listen, when last season we won the treble, say, okay, the job is done. And right here, again. So I had the feeling it's done. So every decade was a team, but the numbers that we have.
Well, tell us how you keep doing it year after year. How do you stay motivated? I want to know, please.
I don't know. I would like to tell you, I don't know. So have a game, work a lot, what they are, respect them a lot, be humble, incredible work ethic, and be scared to lose the game, and one game. No more than that. You cannot think in November we're going to win I don't know how many games. So what's next? This is what to do.
Okay, but tactically, sorry, Jamie, just one more. You've seen fullbacks go into centre mid. You've seen centre backs go into centre mid. You've won the league with a false 9. You get Haaland, you won the treble. Like, you're always evolving. Is that the key?
No, evolving, no. Sport director Chicky, give me these players. And I have today, okay, what is the best position for them? Inserting the idea that they have to play in football. So with Alan, we cannot play the false 9. We cannot. With Messi, we can play with false 9. With Bayern Munich, with Lewandowski, we cannot play in false 9. So we adapt the skills of the players, not because I have an idea and every player has to adapt to mine. No. It's not about that.
You talk about players and positions. I just want to talk about Phil Foden, because as an Englishman, I want to thank you, because you finally showed us where he needs to play for his country. How did he earn that respect and that for you to give him the trust to play centrally? Because it felt like it happened this season with you. What was the turning point?
Well, the absence from Erling Haaland for many months, we have put sense of top scorers close to the box, and Julian have made an incredible job, and Phil has his talent. So I have been nominated the best player of the league. In the bigger band, in the bigger stage, he did it. So that's why he's the best this season. So this league, many reasons they are, because Julian was amazing all season, and many players, but Phil have an extra thing.
Pep, I know you said on Friday that you are staying next season, which is a big relief to Manchester City fans. Jurgen has departed. Do you see a time soon on the horizon where Pep Guardiola is on the golf course rather than the coaching ground with Manchester City?
The reality, I'm closer to leave than to stay. So 8 years will be 9. So right now, my feeling, I want to stay next season. We talk with the club. We have time to talk next season, because I have to see the players as well. If they follow me, they follow us, and for many reasons. So I will stay during the season. We will talk with Carl, but after 8-9 years, so...
5 more years! 5 more years!
Mick, don't say Arteta's in his office going, please leave, please.
No.
We wish you well, Pep, whatever
Thank
happens.
you so much.
Good luck in the FA Cup as well, and then the golf course.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you so much, Pep. Enjoy the celebrations.
I heard the song today a few times, and I you can do that. I have no problem with that. Let's see how the response will be. La, 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 la. Imagine the next season starts and you are not waiting what's going on. No, you go full throttle into it. You welcome the new manager like you welcomed me. You go all in from the first day. And when it's hard, you keep believing. When it's difficult, you keep believing. And you push the team. You wait not for a goal or whatever. And get down on your toes. You're on your toes before we score. Because I'm one of you now. I love you to bits. The only thing we don't have yet in this wonderful stadium is a video wall, so I have to tell you, on my jumper is "Thank you, love," and I will never walk alone again. Thank you for that. You are the best people in the world. Thank you.
Jurgen Klopp, the most successful manager in recent times of Liverpool, saying goodbye at Anfield. Gary Neville's rejoined us. It's not just the end of Jurgen Klopp, Gary. Does it feel like it's almost the end of a golden era in some respects? We've had Klopp and Guardiola at the height of their powers.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a great manager, two great managers going head-to-head against each other. And we know that the period before they came, the Premier League's quality, think about what was happening in Germany and Spain, they were dominating Europe. And I think with Pep Guardiola coming in, Conte coming in, Pep Guardiola coming in, the Premier League has become the best in Europe because of managers, great managers, and the Premier League does lose something today.
They've pushed each other. We think about Nadal and Federer, Messi and Ronaldo. They've taken each other, the levels, and they've never been reluctant not to push, to buy the players that they need to make sure they challenge next season. They've made each other better managers in that respect. And Klopp is going to be sorely missed. And I like the fact that he's going to give Arne Slot, that little bit of help. But my goodness, how difficult is this job going to be? I remember Sir Alex Ferguson doing it many, many years ago when he said about David Moyes, and it was so hard for him. And this is going to be a very similar situation. You are following an absolute legend that has Liverpool people eating out the palm of his hands. Arne Slot is going to have it. He's going to have all the support, but he's going to have a really difficult job ahead. It's going to be tough for him, and I just, certainly wish him luck.
Klopp's left him in good hands, though, hasn't he? If he took where Liverpool were when Klopp started to where Arne Slot's going to start from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has, but it's still going to be difficult.
There are some issues to deal with, Micah. Virgil van Dijk's contract,
Salah.
Trent's contract, Mo Salah situation potentially around him.
Yeah, I mean, every team needs to rebuild at some stage. Klopp's done an unbelievable job, but if I was Liverpool fans, I'd be looking happy for the future. The future is bright. Obviously, they've got a new system, brought some people back to the club who know how to scout players. Obviously, you're losing a legendary figure. That person you look to who protects you when he needs protecting, he motivates you when he needs motivating. But for Liverpool fans, it's exciting, new era.
Would you see, Gary, Liverpool as challengers next season to Manchester City, or is it going to come from Arsenal again or somebody else?
I didn't see them as challengers this season, Dave. I mean, not many did at the start of the season. No one thought they would go as close as they have. Still been in the title race with sort of 5, 6, 7 games to go. I think it'll be very difficult next season because I think that Jurgen Klopp, I genuinely believe he's achieved the maximum with this team this season. And will someone else coming in be able to get the same out of the players? These great managers, these obsessive characters, somehow, I think you mentioned it before, the ability to be able to get the very best out of these teams and these players year in, year out, and actually make them overachieve is unique. And has Arne Slot got that in him? I'm not sure. He's got to prove himself in the Premier League next year, but it'll be very difficult for Liverpool, I think, to challenge for the title next year.
2 runners next year, Arsenal and Manchester City. That won't change.
Why Arsenal? It was interesting that Pep Guardiola spoke about them being a young team. They're actually the 3rd youngest in the Premier League this season.
Yeah, and they'll get better. I think it's hard when you try to improve that starting 11. That won't be that easy. But I think it's maybe just making sure that you've got players in the squad that can come on and make a difference. I think there'll be a lot of squad players that they'll be able to move on for pretty good money, and just make sure that squad, will it ever emulate what they've got here? But the ability that Pep has to just change with brilliant footballers time and time again, and it never affect the team. If Arsenal were to do that, I think it affects them too much. So I think they've got to make the squad stronger, but I genuinely believe they would challenge, and if not, I have a feeling they could win it next season.
Could someone come from the pack potentially? Micah, this time last year you were telling us that Chelsea were contenders.
And Chelsea,
they've actually had a brilliant end to the season.
I'm telling you, all the combinations that Chelsea were showing at the start of the season, there was a time in the season where they weren't taking them chances. Now, if you look at towards the last 10 games, they've been brilliant. I still think they need to shift a lot of players and go with the core group who really buy into what the manager wants to do. Obviously, Poch has said in his interviews he doesn't know what's happening. It'd be nice if he stays because he's building something nice, and they're a young team. Cole Palmer's been on fire. Add the right players who want to buy into what they do, and Chelsea, I won't say they're going to challenge for the league, but definitely Champions League.
And what about Manchester United, Gary? At least they finished the season with back-to-back wins. They've got an FA Cup final to look forward to, which might be a route into Europe as well. But as we stand here now, what do you expect of them next season?
I think before you even get to next season with Manchester United, there are a couple of huge things in the next 7 to 10 days, and that's obviously the FA Cup final, which is defining in more ways than one, I think. And then the decision obviously after that, in that 4 or 5 days after the final, whether win or lose, are they going to keep with Erik ten Hag, or are they going to obviously relieve him of his duties? So I think before you can even think about next season for Manchester United, there's 2 enormous moments that are going to happen in this next 7 to 10 days. And then you've got next season, which honestly at this moment in time, there's so much turbulence. Is Dan Ashworth going to start by next season? The new CEO, they're bedding in a brand new top of the club. Owners, CEO, sporting director, technical director, they've got to appoint a new CFO. Every position in the club is brand new. So I still can't see how next season can be really successful for Manchester United. But what I am positive about is the fact that there has been change, because there needs to be interference with the mundane, same 10 years in. Manchester United not made a change. They didn't have a sporting structure in place. At least they will have one for the start of next season.
Here they expect them to be contenders next season. Here are the post-match thoughts from today of Mikel Arteta.
Mikel, what a season for Arsenal. Fell short at the final hurdle. What's the overriding feeling?
Congratulations to Manchester City for winning the Premier League. We tried whole season. We've been very, very consistent. We beat every record that we have achieved previously this club, but it wasn't enough to win it. That tells you the level.
You mentioned it, history made, records broken. Just how much progress do you feel was made this season?
Yes, a lot. Today, for me, I had to see it. I really wanted that Premier League. I really wanted to deliver to the club, to the supporters. You've seen again with the atmosphere they're creating here. And we didn't, so I think we need to recharge. I think go on holidays and look back, and probably the perspective is better.
Recharge, as you say, but looking forward to next season, will Arsenal be back?
For sure, and now we have to analyse what we've done, why we have made so many steps, and the way we are progressing, and where the club is at the moment. And now we really have to show our teeth and a lot of ambition, be very determined, have a lot of courage, and look ways to improve.
Mikel, thank you. Enjoy your time off. Enjoy your holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mikel. Thank you.
Arsenal with 89 points, the most they've had in a Premier League season since the Invincibles of 2003-04. Record number of wins and goals as well, but it still wasn't enough. Is the pain of today, Micah, going to drive them on again next season?
It will. If you look at last season, sort of faded away, big injury to Saliba at the wrong time. This season, they've been stable. I just go back to that Villa game at home, where you think, They played with Havertz in the midfield area. If they would have gone with maybe a central midfielder or a Partey or Jorginho, it could have been different. But if you look at their season as a whole, they've been absolutely unbelievable. They're up against a juggernaut in Man City, which is always going to be difficult. They've got a young squad. Timber's been injured, the left back. They've had to rotate the left back with Kiwior and Tomiyasu. At times have done well, but at key moments, when you go across the season, and Gary's won multiple Premier Leagues, there's always moments where City can bring on a Kevin De Bruyne or a Haaland and make the difference. You know, adding Rice to their team as well has elevated them so much, but in some moments they need a little bit more quality to finish games off, and that can just give them that confidence that they need for next season.
I think it's really difficult in the modern era to think that a manager of Arsenal could win one trophy in 4 seasons but still be thought of as doing a really good job. If you think about Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool, where because of the progression each year you felt like they were getting closer, you persist with it. It took Sir Alex Ferguson obviously a long time ago, 6 seasons, to win a Premier League title, and it feels like Mikel Arteta is just getting there every single year, and it may just be that they have to wait even more than another year if Pep Guardiola stays, because you're up against someone who's a phenomenon, and even if they have to wait 2 more years, that won't please Arsenal fans, but it does feel like they're knocking on the door now.
Yeah, it feels like they're a big club again.
Yeah.
Let's give you a little graphic to illustrate the journey of every club this season. Tricky to understand if you've got a really small screen like we have, but at the top, what you can see is that lead changing hands. Liverpool in front for a long time, Arsenal having their moment in the sunshine, and then towards the end, City coming late and timed it to perfection, didn't they? Unbeaten in 23 to finish. That run again. Yeah, Pep Guardiola is the best jockey in the business.
It was like the Donkey Derby, you know, the one where that's just at the end, you're going, what?
The amusement arcade. They won it by 2 points in the end, Manchester City. Identical goal difference to Arsenal. They were the outstanding teams, along with Liverpool, who fell away only towards the end. Congratulations as well to Aston Villa, we must say. I think they were celebrating quite hard after results went their way this week, because they got well beaten at Crystal Palace today. Tottenham sealing 5th place. That was a jump, remember, from 8th last season. Chelsea were in the bottom half for periods of this campaign, but they finished strongly. 5 wins out of 5 under Mauricio Pochettino. We wait to see what happens with his future. They're in Europe, but don't yet know what competition they're in. Newcastle, if Manchester United lose the FA Cup, will also be in Europe. They'll be playing in the Conference League, and Chelsea in the Europa League. But if Manchester United win the FA Cup against City next week, they will go into the Europa League. Newcastle will drop out of Europe, and Chelsea will be in the Conference. West Ham United say goodbye to David Moyes. It looks like Julian Lopetegui is the new man in charge there. And also in London, there is a new era underway, and it started mighty impressively at Selhurst Park for Oliver Glasner. They finish in the top half. Brighton looking for a new manager. You'd expect a club like that to have a plan in place after they announced the departure of Roberto De Zerbi. His final game at the helm today was that defeat to Manchester United. Bournemouth in 12th. It's been a really bright season. A first one in charge for Andoni Iraola. Fulham in 13th. Wolves in 14th, and if you remember right at the start of the season, Gary O'Neill was parachuted in just before they took on Manchester United. Really, the ambition was for them to survive. They've done that and much more. Everton also survived despite having 8 points deducted. They did it with ease in the end. Brentford finishing in 16th. Nottingham Forest will live to fight another day despite their 4-point deduction. Luton, Burnley and Sheffield United drop. Right, have a look at this, guys. These are the season highs. Who catches your eye here? We spoke to Erling Haaland, and we know he's won the Golden Boot for a second successive season. Who else there stands out for you, Jamie? Would it be Ollie Watkins with his contribution? He's got the goals and assists.
I would say so. I would say Ollie Watkins, and I would also say if you were to pick a team this season, it's Aston Villa and the managerial job that Unai Emery has done, getting Aston Villa into 4th, especially they were heavily beaten the first day of the season. Unbelievable job. The other player that hasn't really had the mentions is Rodri, and he didn't get in after the Player of the Year. What a footballer that guy is, and the job that he does in this team is so instrumental.
Who would you like to mention, Gary? What about the bottom two there? The only outfield players to play every minute this season, Saliba and Max Kilman.
Look, being reliable is absolutely vital, and we know we've heard so many managers this year talk about injuries. So many injuries in so many teams off the back of a World Cup, they say, off the back of other things and the amount of games. To have players that play every single week, we know how much obviously Arsenal missed Saliba last season. Consistency is really important and being reliable, and Manchester City have that. They don't get too many injuries, do they? I know they had De Bruyne out for a bit, but their players fit.
And Erling Haaland, Micah, didn't have the best day probably today, but he's got another 27 for the season after his record-breaking first season in the Premier League. And he wins the Golden Boot again.
He's just a goal machine, isn't he? I mean, when you've got a team constantly providing chances with Foden and De Bruyne, you're always going to score goals.
Do you think he takes the criticism when it does come to heart?
No, I think as pundits we always analyse the game, and there's certain parts of his game with his hold-up play that we'd be critical of at times when it wasn't going so well. We know he's going to score goals, but he's still a young player. You know, we're always looking not for negative, but where you can improve, and I think that's just one area of his game he can improve, and it's not a negative, it's just one where we're looking at and thinking we can't say how brilliant he is absolutely every week, you know. We highlighted it, it's one area, and, you know, he takes it on board.